Hello, welcome to part 4 of making a calculator in Scratch. In the last video, we made the units mile to kilometers and kilometers to miles and kilograms to pounds and pounds to kilograms. In this video, we'll be making factorial and logarithms. It will take some hard coding, so be prepared. So let's get started. Okay, in the video of percentage and power, there was a comment saying that the power variable should be for the sprite only. So we will quickly do that by making our variable. We'll just call it power because right now we can't make it the same as another variable. So now over here there is power, so we'll remove that use and we will put this new variable power. And also make sure that you select for the sprite only because you can't change it unless you do that. So now over here there's the power, we'll change it to power, and over here this power, so we'll change it to power. Now we can delete this sprite, delete the power variable. So now we can rename this, so we'll hold on to it, we click rename and we'll now name it power. So now we have changed it for the sprite only, so in other sprites you can't see that variable. Now let's get started with factorial and logarithms. So first let's create a sprite and we are going to call it factorial. So let's name it and put the name as factorial. So now we are going to create our block, and over here we'll add an input, we'll delete this label, and now the input we will call 1, and now we're going to add a label and this will be called we'll just put an exclamation mark because that's a sign for factorial. Now run without screen refresh, and in the block you can see that the exclamation mark is like coming out. We can't change that. So now for this we are going to require a list. We will name it factorial, and for the sprite only. So now we have the list. So now we're going to be adding this input 1 to factorial. Now we're also going to create a variable which we'll call factorial, and this also will be for the sprite only. And now we're going to set the variable to this item 1. Now we are going to get a repeat until where is it? Repeat until. Oh, also I forgot, we have to put a delete all of factorial in the beginning, so our list gets emptied. Now we are going to repeat this code until the factorial variable is equal to, look at the is equal to, and we're going to make it until it's equal to 1. Now we'll put this inside and put it here. So what we are going to do is we are going to add the variable factorial minus 1. Why we do this? It's because factorial is when you multiply the number by every number lower than it, that's a whole number. So what we do is when we do this, we are just getting every number that's lower than the number we put, and then we'll just make it multiply all those numbers so we get an answer. Now after we do this, we're also going to change the factorial variable by minus 1 as we are adding minus 1, so it will just have the same number if we don't do this. Now after this we'll put another repeat until loop inside that, and this will be until the list the length of factorial, the list, is equal to 1. So we will just repeat this because we'll do the multiplication. So we'll multiply two numbers and then delete those numbers and repeat it until we have one number which will be the answer. So repeat until length of factorial is equal to 1, and what we will do, add item 1 of factorial times item 2. So we'll get item 1 and we'll get item 2, and now we'll get a multiplication. So item 1 times item 2 of factorial, and we will add this to the list factorial. So we'll put that here and we'll put that here. So now add item 1 of factorial times item 2 of factorial, which are the two numbers, to the list factorial, and then we'll just delete those two things that we just multiplied by doing delete 1 of factorial and delete 1 of factorial. Now after we do this, at the end over here we're going to speak block, and we will speak let's get some joins. I'm not sure how many we'll need, so we'll just put 1 here and we'll keep adding the factorial of this, the factorial, or we'll just put this, the number, then we'll put factorial, okay, is equal, we need a join actually, 4, let's just assume we've got the number 4 factorial is equal to, and the item, it's going to be item 1 of factorial, because we are continuously doing that thing of multiplication, so we have one thing item left, and that will be the answer. So it's equal to item 1 of factorial. So we can put this here, and now we can test it. So we'll put the number 4 factorial is equal to 24, so that's what it should say. I'm not able to hear it. We'll just refresh this. Refresh. Let's go in the factorial again.
4 factorial is equal to 24.
There we go. We have this. Now we can hide the variable and the list as it's working. Now let's create the next sprite, which will be logarithms. So you can just call it log, but I'll call it logarithms. Now for this you don't actually need a variable, you just need the list. So we will get the label log, and we will put 2 inputs. So the first one we'll call 1, and the second input we will call 2. So if you don't know how log works, we'll just create this. Let's say, so the first number will be something like 3, and the second number will be like 27. So it's like the opposite of power. So like 3 put to the power of 3 is equal to 27. So if item input 1 is 3 and input 2 is 27, it will give you the answer of 3, as 3 put to the power of 3 is equal to 27. So that's what log does. So what we will do is we'll create a list, logarithms, for this sprite only. Now we will add these 2 things to that, and we will delete everything from from a list. So now we have this. Now what we are going to do is to do this, we are going to add item 2 divided by item 1. So we will get the items, item 1 and item 2. 1 minute. Item 2. So we are going to get a division, item 2 divided by item 1. We are going to add that to logarithms, the rest. Now we will get an if else block. If item 1, which is the what we divided by to get the answer, item 1, where is that, item 1 of logarithms is equal to item 3. So let's say that input 1 that we had got was 2 and input 2 was 4. So with the code we would do 4 divided by 2, which is 2, and if the input 1, which is 2, is equal to 4 divided by 2, which is input 2 divided by input 1, that's also 2, and that will be item 3. So if both of those are equal to each other, then that means that we have put it to the power of 2, so the answer will be 2. So instead of putting item 3, we are actually going to be using the length of logarithms block many times. So I'll just put item length of logarithms in this. Okay, so now we have this. Then we'll get a speak block. Speak. The answer is, so we're gonna join. or we can put the log of now we'll get another this. Now we'll put input 1, we'll get another join, and we'll get another join. Now we get another join. I put it in the wrong spot. We'll get the input 2 again because it went down. Now we'll put is equal to. We actually don't need this. I'll just remove that because for sure it will be is equal to 2. So is equal to 2. That's it. But now if not, we'll have to get a repeat until. So we'll get this repeat until. Now what we are going to do is we are going to repeat this until the code we put on before was if item 1 of logarithms is equal to item length of logarithms, so that if that's there, then the answer will be the length of logarithms minus 1. So the same thing we can put over here. So what we can do is we can get this code that we had, not that code. For the if code, we had got this code. We'll just delete that. Now we'll duplicate this. And now we'll put this back there. So let's put it there. Now the same code we are going to put here. But what code are we going to do to get this? So the code that we will do is item 2 of logarithms, which is the number which is input 2, so that divided by item length of logarithms, like we had done before, because we keep dividing it. So if we divide it by that, we'll get our answer. So we'll get the division item 2 of logarithms divided by item length of logarithms, item length of logarithms it says. And we are going to add this to logarithms. So we will repeat this, and then at the end, after this is done, we are going to be speaking. But what are we speaking? That will do. So this is a little bit complicated, but if you have watched the power and percentage video, you will know that when you put anything to the power of 1, it is equal to itself. So the answer will always require 1 more. But because we have added input 1 and input 2, that's almost done for us. So we just have to subtract 1. And the answer will of course be the length of logarithms minus 1, because over here when we spoke is equal to 2, the length of logarithms, which is 3, minus 1, which gives you 2. So the same thing we do here. So we can get that code here, duplicate it, we'll put that back there, is equal to, but over here we'll put is equal to, but we'll actually just get a join instead. In this we'll put is equal to, and over here we are going to put length of logarithms. Where is that? Over here, length of logarithms. And because we have put those 2 inputs, we only need plus 1, so we will minus 1 instead, because it's plus 2. And now we will put that here. So now the example that I had given, 3 and 27, will do that. So over here we'll put number 3, and over here we'll put the number 27. It should say that the log of 3 and 27 is equal to 3.
The log of 3 and 27 is equal to 3.
There we go. We have created factorial and logarithms. So now after you have done that, you can hide everything. So for this, everything is hidden. Everything is hidden on the screen. There's nothing. So we have created this, but we'll just make this look nice. So what we can do is we can put these codes like far away, so when you start the calculator, you just see the block and you don't see the code, because when you see the code it doesn't look good. And to do the calculator stuff, you need the block. So when we just put this all away, you only see the block. So when we save this, it will show only the block, but you have to make sure to save. If you don't save, then it will show you how it was before. So let's continue doing this. Now for percentage, we'll do this. Now for power, we will do this. For power, it's a very long code, so we have to be careful. And it also takes some time. It's a little laggy as it's a very long code that you are moving. So that should be enough. Now for mile to kilogram and this, when we have two blocks, you'll have to move both of them together. So let's just put those two blocks over here. We'll just collect it, it's fine. And now we'll have to move both of these together. So let's move this. We'll just move it ahead so we can move this. Now we'll move this. Now we'll move that even more. Now we'll move this. We'll move that. We'll move that. And now we'll just continue. Let's go just back there and come to the block. Now this just makes it look good. So if anyone is like seeing your project, then they won't see these codes and they'll just see the block. So it looks really good. So you can continue this. Go back here. Now do this for the factorial. You have to again be careful because it's a long code. So let's do this. Okay, that should be enough. Let's go back. And now, last but not least, we will do this for log. Is there a block here? Okay, I'll just put one block. So now, for log, it's actually a really difficult code. When I created all these codes, I thought that factorial was the hardest, but I think I feel like log is actually the hardest. So there we go. Now you can click save now, and now whenever you open it, it will be like this. So thanks for watching. Hope everyone was able to make this, and I'm not sure what we will make in the next video, but I will definitely come up with something. So thanks for watching.